Hello, welcome to In-and-Out of OutSystems, where I will show you something cool and useful in OutSystems in 5 minutes. I'm Craig St. Jean from NetLink Digital Solutions. Let's go! Today, I'd like to show you the IdP component, or Identity Provider component, that's in the Forge. This allows you to enable single sign-on through the SAML protocol to your applications. You can also enable single sign-on with SAML by the user's application, but this allows you to control it more at a per application level. Now specifically, I'm going to show you how to use the IdPReact component for reactive web applications. If you don't have an existing SAML identity provider in place, you can also take a look at the IdP server component that's in the Forge, which represents an identity provider that you can work with for demo purposes. But in my case, I'm going to use Auth0. Auth0 allows you to use SAML or OpenID Connect for authentication or OAuth2 for authorization. In this case, I've already set it up for SAML, enabled the SAML add-on, and here you can see it is showing us the issuer that it's expecting us to use. This is just a text string that has to match. And it also provides us the Auth0 certificate and a metadata download file. Now this download is an XML file that tells our service provider, which is our application, how to connect to the identity provider, so we don't have to go and type in all of the configuration itself. Now I've already installed IdP and IdPReact into my environment. So if we browse to our environment /IdP and sign in, we can then add a new application. So I'm going to add an application, and we're going to set its provider to just be other. Now it does support ADFS or Azure AD, Okta, OneLogin, Ping1. Auth0 is just a standard SAML provider, so we're just going to go with other. And we're going to call this In-and-Out Demo. And I'll hit save. Now, here we can configure the service provider, which is our application, connector, and claims. Claims mean which attribute in the SAML assertion or the XML document that we're going to get from our identity provider represents the first name, the last name, email, and so on. For this video, I'm just going to skip over that though, and we're going to go straight to the IdP server and settings. This is where we need to say what the server URL is, our server certificate, and so on. But because we have that metadata XML file that I showed you before, I'm just going to drag that in. Now, since the server has parsed that XML file and loaded everything in, I can go ahead and hit save. And now we're actually ready at this point to put an application together. So I'll switch to Service Studio and create a new application. I'm going to create a reactive web app because I'm showing the IdPReact component. We'll call it In-and-Out Demo. And we'll go ahead and just create this as normal. Now there's really only one major change that we have to make to support using the IdPReact. And that is in our on exception, with our security exception, instead of going through the normal flow, we need to use the get login URL from IdPReact. So let's pull that in. So we're going to go to IdPReact. And I'm going to go ahead and just delete out what we have here. And we're going to bring in IdPReact get login URL. And we'll connect these. Now our original URL, it's preferable to say get bookmarkable URL to make an easy return URL after we go through the sign-in process. And we can also define a SAML app name if we have multiple SAML configurations. In this case, I'm just going to put in our In-and-Out Demo. And last, we can go to our redirect to URL. and change that to say getLoginURL.url. Last, I just need an actual home page for us to test with. And at this point, I could go in and delete the login screen or things like that. Just for this, I'm just going to go ahead and publish it as is, though. Now that it's published, we can open this up. And we're going to get to our application. You see that we're signing you in. Wait a moment. That was actually the IdPReact application that was telling us that. And you can see we're signed in. Now, if I open an incognito window, or even just a separate browser like I'm showing here, and browse to our application, you can see Auth0 is now asking us to go ahead and log in. And if I put in my login credentials, we are now in our application and signed in. From here, you can modify things as you need, adjust those SAML claims that I've mentioned to show what your first name, last name, email, and so on are, and go from there. I hope this has been useful to you. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment below, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.